Oh, wow. It works the way it's supposed to.
That was a nice beat. I was like, yeah.
I know. We're going to have to put some CW or maybe some RTTY in the background.
Yeah.
And look, it gave you 30 seconds to fix your hair.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got to tell this story, and he's going to kill me. But about 7 minutes ago, he goes, "I got to run out. My hair's not right," and he just about locked himself out of the room. So he would have had me doing a show with just
a chair and monitors.
With a chair. I can almost control your screens though, because you popped them up. So anyway, so I've got to look. My camera's here, my monitor's here, so I'll be looking sideways. Gentlemen, how are you? Bernd, how are you? Somebody let Lou in.
Yep.
I've been picking on Lou all week, but it's been great because it's been one way, so he can't pick on me. But I'll get on the phone with Lou. I'm sure I'm going to hear back. Lou, how are you? I hope everything's going well. In all seriousness, by the way, I'm joking about Lou, but Lou does our Everyman station at Hamfest. He comes to all our Hamfest. He's a Flex volunteer, and does this great demonstration of actually some of the stuff we're even going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about FRStack, and JP is going to talk about GridTracker and just some cool different things you can do. And hi, Edwin, and he's a great ham as well, and he's been on just a couple of the expeditions. So Lou, we're going to have to get you on the show, and you can tell us about some of your trips sometime.
He's been giving me some tips for my QTH here, setting up like a tower, antennas, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, we all gave you tower tips, didn't we?
Yeah, all of you. I just need to make the decision,
Welcome to Ham Radio. If you don't like the answer, ask somebody else.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like when I get somebody on the phone, it's like, should I get a 6700 or a 6600? The decision is on you,
And Alan has turned into, I keep saying this every time he shows up, our Node-RED expert. So I've been so busy, I haven't even looked at mine. And somebody was asking for one of my amp flows. I'm going to have to go pull it off the Raspberry Pi and send it to him. So Alan, welcome. And Andrew's here again, like usual. Andrew, geez, I hope we're not your Friday night entertainment from the other side of the world.
We have Wilbur also.
I'm getting to him. They're coming in. Okay, well, Lou, you're on in 2 weeks. You've been warned. If you can make it. Hi, Steve. Let's see. We got Wilbert. My phone's ringing. You can hear it buzzing away.
Yeah, I just turned it off. Who needs a phone when you have a radio?
Oh, it's a customer. I'm sorry. We're on the air. Peter's been on. Peter and I figure we're friends, right? So we're gonna both get banned from Facebook at some point in time because there's a couple of things he and I could be a little passionate about, and don't
get canceled, Mike. We need you.
Yeah, right, Peter. And it's been a fun week.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce this. JP?
Let's see. Zulayanko. That's easy. Come on. Zulayanko. Come on.
Good for you. That's all. I hope we got that right. And Lou, like I said, 2 weeks. We'll talk.
George, River Play fan. There you go.
We were just talking about that.
Yes, we were talking about you, George. Thanks for...
Okay, what is River Play?
The best soccer team in the universe, basically. Not only this planet, like our universe. Yeah.
Okay, I admit I'm a hockey-only fan, and by the way, the office was complaining that it was going to get down to about 40 degrees in your area tonight. Was that it, JP?
It's pretty cold in the morning, and at night it's not that cold, but it's 45, I guess. Yeah, in the mornings.
And I was going to take I was using my laptop. I was going to take him outside, say, look, this is 40 degrees right now, because that's what it is out here outside, in the Ontario area today. So anyway,
we're in our 80s right now. Texas is the place where you can use the heating and the AC during the same day. It's one of those places. Yeah, there you go, George. Right on, right on. Very good. I need to talk more to you, George. Please send me an email.
There's Arnie again and Alfredo
Alfredo
from
Rios.
South America.
I'm gonna say it with a Spanish accent. Alfredo Rios with a R. He's building a tremendous station, Alfredo. I was on a video call this weekend. You wouldn't believe it, Mike. You would like state of the art station. State of the art.
I am amazed at what people build. I'm also amazed at how successful they are by not having to build a superstation. And it works both ways. If a little bit of if you focus on one little thing, you can have a great antenna and single band. You can either do so well, either one way or the other. So superstations, and in sometimes with band conditions, it can be an all-out equalizers. I've worked contests and some guy calls me and he says QRP. I went, really? What are you using for an antenna? And he goes, dipole. And it's just all about conditions sometimes. And, we beat out some other superstations that I know of. So it's pretty cool. JP, what do you got to talk about today? Oh, go away.
No, I was going to say that I will never forget the 90s. That did it for me. In the 90s, when I started with ham radio, and it was so easy to make a contact. But
I remember 92 actually was when the Blue Jays won the World Series, because CQ Worldwide was that weekend. Mm-hmm. And we stopped to watch it was just two of us doing a multi-single in CQ Worldwide. And we still go back and look at that score from essentially what they call a classic station, a tri-bander and wires, and an 80-40 dipole. And but we've turned the corner. We're coming up the other way. And that's cool. By the way, today's a long podcast day today, because when I'm done here, I get to have dinner. And then we go record Ham Radio Workbench with the guys. And if you listen to Ham Radio Workbench, you got to be stuck in traffic, because it's a long podcast. And so it's like, it ends up being a couple of hours produced, but it ends up being 3 hours of, we get off into a tangent just about stuff. It's a lot of fun. Like, we were sitting there playing cards or something and talking about radio stuff. So, but anyway.
And you have that right after this?
No. So we'll record it tonight after my dinner, about 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern, but it goes for 3 or 4 hours, and then they edit it, so it comes out sometimes next week. Good. And so I have to be, a little more generalistic there than flex related, but they call me out and stuff, and from 3 or 4 guys from all different walks of the hobby. Mm-hmm. Peter Rod is on that as well. He's another friend of ours from the Oakville Amateur Radio Club here in Toronto, etc. By the way, if you don't know how big Toronto is, it's about the area around the western part of Lake Ontario is about 11 to 12 million people. So there's a lot of hams here.
Oh,
hi, Ron. And so, JP, what do you got to talk about? Here's your commercial.
Hello.
Which we didn't even warn you about this time.
No, not at all. Well, basically today, I would like to talk about a little bit about GridTracker, which is a really nice software for those who are chasing grids in the digital mode. Also DX, basically for DX chasers, having FT8 open in multiple bands at the same time will give you an idea which band is open, so you can jump and just start calling CQ on the band that you see open. So it's some sort of like a reverse beacon. That is a way you can use FT8. So whenever you're ready, I would like to share my screen and just give you.
Okay, do you want to start? You want me this one here?
Yeah, that will do it.
Okay, I'll make it full screen and take us off it so you can get a little better view.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mike. So basically with GridTracker, if you are into digital modes.
Hold on. I'm going to back you up. Where do we find GridTracker?
GridTracker.com. Google it. Yes.
I'll bring it up on my screen so you can continue on.
Thank you. Yeah. Is the only software I could find where, with Flex, you can check multiple bands at the same time. You can open multiple slices at the same time, and you could be checking FT8 on 15, 10, and 40, all at the same time. Oh, there you go. What's the URL?
It is taglumis.com.
There you
so
go.
Tango, Alpha, Golf, Lima, Oscar, Mike India Sierra.com. But I just Googled GridTracker.
Yes. That's
by N0 Tango Lima and November 2 Victor Fox Lima.
Yes. So since I became a fan, since I started working for Flex, of having multiple receivers opened at the same time, before that, believe me, it was like very foreign to me. Like, I'm okay with one VFO. I don't need another band at the same time. I'm okay. But once you feel the power of being on multiple bands at the same time, you don't want to go back to that. So
what are you looking at here?
I'm looking at, this is what's happening on 4 bands at the same time. This is the traffic happening on 4 bands at the same time on FT8 and some FT4 frequencies. So what I did,
and this is from your radio, right?
Exactly. Where you let me see if I can use the mouse. Yes,
yep.
You can. Perfect. So here you have DEX 1, DEX 2, DEX 3, and DEX 4. Those are just 4 slices that I open on my radio. Now I'm using a 6700, so I can open up to 8 slices. I just did 4 for this presentation. So this is the only software that I'm able to see all what's happening within FT8 on all the bands that I have on my radio on.
Right.
And
so you have 4 copies of WSJT also running, right? One in each slice?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And this is a very optimized way to start looking for grids that you never worked before, chase grids and chase DX, because over here, you can start filtering what you see here. So if you say, okay, just show me, right now I have it on all traffic, but if I want, I just go to new and unconfirmed. Look, this, I'm looking at 2 stations, one from Chile and the other one from Hawaii, and both, they're calling, wow. I need a better antenna, I guess. Yes.
There's, I was going to ask something too, and it slipped my mind. So continue with your story, and I'll come back to it as well.
Yeah.
You've got your logbook integrated to this as well, right? You've loaded up your logbook.
Oh, that's a great point. GridTracker, it's also a logbook. So it will automatically, let me go back to all traffic. GridTracker will automatically log all your QSOs to Log of the World, QRZ, Ham Radio Deluxe, you name it. They have it all integrated. So the only thing that I need to do is just run GridTracker on WSJTX, and that's it. I don't need to run anything else. And on top of that, I mean, this is just me, but see that you can see the traffic, the live traffic here on the screen that I'm showing you. You can start sorting all your stations, and in my case, I did it by distance. So this is my longest path is to Argentina in 15 meters right now. And my shortest this is probably here on 20 meters. Yeah, this is Austin.
Right.
Austin, Kilo 5 UHF.
Now, I never asked you this before. I know you can do it because that's the way I use it when I use it. You can switch over to the map that gives you a visual map.
Yes. I don't know if you can share, or should I do it?
Yeah, while you do this, set it up. I'll talk about it. So you can because of the way the Flex radio system works, you can actually run this on a second computer or maybe the second display. In my case, I have GridTracker running on a Raspberry Pi that allows, it's on another monitor. And this geeks out people that come into my. So I'm going to bring up the map now that will start to give you a visual of where you're hearing signals from.
Yeah, and let me.
And this I like, especially just watching on a single band. You start to see these where the QSOs are currently happening, or the exchanges. You get these lines sitting here moving with my hands, but you get these lines pointing from one to the other. There's one right there.
Yeah.
See, and so into the Canaries. So, and it gives you an indication. So that's the West Coast. If you look real close, that's coming from California all the way to the western coast of Africa.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And this is amazing because as soon as you mouse over, the stations that you worked before, it's a great piece of software if you are into chasing DX, chasing grids, and just optimizing your time. And it will give you a voice alert. So I muted it, of course, because we are on a live stream, but you can set it up to alert you when there's a new grid, a new station, new call sign, you name it. Like, you know how that works. So
it's coolly visual too. I use it for 6 meters for new grids, 6 meters new countries, and 160 meter new countries.
Yeah, you can change the layout and show you. That's my WAS for 20 meters. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great piece of software, especially for Flex, because we are watching many frequencies, different frequencies at the same time. And this is the only piece of software that can handle that on FT8. So it's very important for me to have this software. So thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a real high level. This is not about, getting it set up, but getting it running. What it does, though, it does listen to your home network. That's about the data that is being. So how does it get this data? It comes in from WSJT. WSJT has the ability to broadcast or send that out to your network. Generally, we may just be sending that to JT Alert. But if you need to then send it further to either a different computer or something like this, you can come from JD Alert to out to GridTracker. So it does require a little bit of understanding of how networking works. It's not really complicated, but imagine we get to expand your skill sets if you want to use it.
In my case, it was plug and play.
Was it good?
Yeah. You just install GridTracker and the ports and everything. By default, they listen to each other.
Very good. And in my case, because my whole station's remote, I have a VPN, and not to scare anyone away, but this is what you can do. I actually have, because I have a local PC, like I've always preached that when running a remote, do all your digital stuff on a local PC. I have the local PC, which is running JT Alert, to send the GridTracker data to a PC at the house over the VPN, and then that's how it pops up on my Raspberry Pi. JP's rolling his eyes. I can hear him now.
Yeah.
So,
but
there we go.
That's why you're the master. I'm the student.
So, all right. So let's nuke you there, and I'm going to talk a little bit about FRStack. And FRStack has been around forever, and Mark, who writes it, does an amazing job, and has integrated it with so many things. Again, it takes that same network data, sort of been the theme of the last couple of weeks, and it is this application you can run on a PC. It then connects directly to the radio and gets a whole bunch of stuff. And you can read about it here, but I'll run through some of the basic settings of it. So we'll
the most useful
nuke my browser. We don't need it anymore. And again, this is on a remote PC, so we'll bring up FRStack. This is the icon for it over here on the left, and of course that didn't work because I can't double click. Really good. We have an exception. This is because it's a live show. There we go. And can you guys hang on just a second? Siri, quiet. So Siri just woke up on my Mac. So, like any other thing, not like everything, FRStack has the ability to work on SmartLink. So, if I'm away and I'm in a different room, building, country, I can start FRStack on my local PC, log in like I would for FRStack, and just a second here. And you get the idea. So we're going to connect to my 6600. It's local, and we're going to pop up here.
Just you're not forced to run Smart SDR at the same time you're running this software, right?
Somewhere.
Okay.
You have to be logged. You have to be using the radio.
Okay.
So you need a client running somewhere. It could be your iPhone. It could be your MacBook, and
or the radio itself, right? Or
yeah,
not?
if you be using the radio.
Okay.
So it pops up with this. It's let's call these band stacking registers. There's places I've been. I've got my memories, if I had any, or favorites. I can set up scanning. A whole bunch of really interesting features. One of the ones I use a lot is the meter window. So let me bring up the meter window, and down here in the bottom, and this sits on top, and I can change it from horizontal.
I never used that one. That's pretty cool.
Because I can see the voltage at the radio going in. Sometimes support asks you to check this if you've got a low power out issue. What temperature the power amps are, the PA's on the radio, my forward power, and my SWR. Now, if I was running my amplifier, so let's turn on the amplifier, which the power's off right now.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to turn that. So I've turned on my amplifier. I haven't quite turned it on. Start the PGXL code. Oh, there it came up. So I don't have to run this software, so we'll just close it. You'll see now that we've added the amplifier power out, amplifier current, SWR, and the temperature of the amplifier. And like I said, this is on top, and so I can right click and I can change it to Fahrenheit, transparent, make it horizontal.
Yeah, you can play around with it.
I can, put it wherever I want.
That's why we need so many monitors, so we can.
Yeah, I love monitors. But that's some of the basics. It will if we go into the radio part, we've got a bunch of buttons that we can click here. You can run an S-meter squelch, which I believe is under. I've never used it. I had to look it up. Follow the active slice, whichever slice is actually active. I've actually used this quite a bit. Disconnect. I've actually forced a radio disconnect on this, if I'd left it on at home, just because it was easier.
I believe it has a scan feature.
Yes, it does have a scan. Something else I've not tried.
I did in the past.
Let's go into options here. I'm just going to dance around a few things. So there's my settings for the PGL. I actually have it designed that when the PGL goes active, automatically drop the power to 65 watts or whatever. And when I go to standby, I have the radio at 100, things like that. There's support for the SBE amp. There's disable, if you're tuning, you want TX1 disabled because you don't want your amplifier on. He's working on...
Excuse me, Mike. That PGXL feature that you just showed, this is like some sort of a security measure that you can use for. I don't know if you were copied on the email that I sent you this morning. A customer specifically asked a question that he has 2 different antennas with 2 different power ratings. This could prevent him to burn one of the antennas, right? Because you can put a limit.
Yeah, you could say you would set it to your lowest power, and then type of thing is up. Mm-hmm. We have stepper control too, and settings for full duplex in case you want to do, tune your audio or listen to your transmitted audio. We did that like about a month ago. I did a talk on that. Where your spots, different things for spots. UDP broadcast of information. This gets more into the covers. He has a great interface for Peter. Just what's the button thing? It's an external piece of hardware that sits on your desk, and you push all these buttons and just blanked on it. So slice muting as well. And I got to stop, JP, because when you and I go visit Patagonia, we should go visit Raul.
Yeah. Raul, it's a new Flex customer. He's very happy with his 6600. Yeah.
Because I've never been to Patagonia, and it's sort of
We're
an
gonna
interesting
go.
place.
We're gonna go.
We're gonna
We're
go.
gonna go, and we're gonna do a Patagonia expedition.
Cool. So those are some of the sort of the cool features. It fills a gap for a lot of those creature comforts we like, and I urge you that if you're at least been interested to have a look, you can just Google FRStack. Thank you, Peter. And it's got direct plug-in for a Stream Deck. So I don't have one here, but tell you what, I'll show you what it looks like. I'm sure this is a Stream Deck, and you can custom code buttons to do certain things, and these are all actually pre-coded, a lot of them, and it was easy to adjust, and with REST commands and REST, which something else I need to look up. Thanks, Ellen, for the hint, and you guys are also helpful. So and I have to admit, the Stream Deck was one of the nicer additions that I could sit there. One of my contesting things is to quickly flip back and forth on low bands between an operating antenna, the main 80-meter antenna, and maybe my receiving beverage antenna, or my K9IY, or my active antenna. And you can set that up to push a button to quickly flip back and forth, especially in a contest. It's if I want to go to the other antenna, my RXA antenna, I got to bring this up, drop that down, and that's a bit painful if you just want to A/B it really quickly to see if the station you're working on, you're trying to work, is stronger or weaker. So
that's pretty.
So that's it. That's in a nutshell. That's what FRStack is about. And there's more. Mark's still working on other stuff. I've been helping him out a bit with some other amplifier integration. Not our product, but I just happen to have one. A very interesting person, very talented coder as well. So that's sort of the overview of FRStack, and it's just one of those many products that works with Flex. And there's a lot of that just plug in, you put it on the laptop, and away you go. And if you're listening to us live, you might want to just add your comments. Do you have any favorite works with Flex product? That and Slice Master are my two go-tos. I use a lot. And Slice Master.
FRStack, I installed it just because I wanted to have like memory scanning back in the day. But I don't do it anymore.
You don't do it anymore.
No. It's Windows, and there's also a Mac version on their website.
Yeah, and there's also a Raspberry Pi, Linux and Raspberry Pi version.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm going to cautiously post the. Alan's telling me FRStack runs on a Raspberry Pi. I didn't know that. I thought you were saying Flex Radio System runs on a Pi, so I'm cautious, because that's our in-company algorithm or anagram for us. But I don't know anything about MMS TV, so
I made two contacts with that software.
Did you?
It's kind of not so easy to set it up, at least for me.
There you go from Peter. And by the way, Peter, I'm going to pick on Peter, but if you think Peter he'd be the first to say this. We actually had him on the show in the earlier days. So Peter is a long since retired, amazing photographer and a few other cool things. But he's a senior. He'll admit he gets senior discounts, and he does work at he'll try stuff, and he gets there. And so if you don't ever say I can't do that, because you can, and not that Peter couldn't, but this is a hobby that we all live and learn, and we learn from our mistakes. And boy, I've learned a lot, because I've had a lot of things where they don't work, but generally I find it worked for somebody. I got to figure out why. And from a computer perspective, it is a dumb box of bricks, so it just does what we tell it to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's all I got today. How's our time? Right on time.
Right on time. So it's a good time to tell everybody that they can order their PGXLs, and they're going to be ready to ship by the end of next week.
I was on the phone with Renko this morning. You're giving him gray hair.
No, we do.
It's an amazing device. I love mine. I actually have 2 amps I'll probably sell now that I don't need anymore. Well, JP, have a great weekend. I hope you can survive the 40-degree weather. You got your down coat handy.
Yes.
Okay, I might have to put my long pants on.
Sweatshirts, jackets. Oh gosh, I didn't move to Texas for that, but well, we gotta do it.
And so we have Lou on in 2 weeks because he just volunteered. And if you want Lou to talk about any specific, he does this beautiful display, as I said on earlier, at Dayton or Huntsville or just about any flea market where he's got WSJT running or some other build of WSJT, Slice Master spots over here, there, everything. And so I'm looking forward to that chat. We're going to ask you about a few of your DXpeditions, Lou. And it's been involved.
I need to go in an expedition. Oh, we're going to do the Patagonia expedition then. That's a cool name, right?
They make some of the nicest sweaters I have. Patagonia.
Hey, we need a sponsor, for the Patagonia.
We have a sponsor. All right, 73 all.
Take care.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.